Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. Today we are doing a book review. We have a whole bunch of books.
I have 4. Yes.
So we like the library.
I have them
And
too.
we picked a whole bunch of books. I told the kids they can pick the books they like, and I will talk at the end about the books and why I liked them. Not all the books, just the ones I specifically want to mention. So go ahead, Malachi. What'd you read?
No, he didn't. You didn't read them.
Did you look at that book?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let someone else talk about it. Did you like that though?
I'll do that.
Okay. Here, you talk about this one.
Okay.
What's this book about? Houses, that's right.
The world, right?
We'll talk about it in a minute. You have trouble turning the pages from this side. Did you like that book? Did you like this book? Yes? Okay, now it's Uriah's turn, okay?
Okay. So mine, I have a lot of books.
Okay, make a pile in front of you and talk about one book at a time. Go ahead.
So this book,
Art Auction Mystery.
yeah. So it has people in the front that that made a mistake, and you have to find that one.
Okay.
Like on this one, I'm gonna find it on here, and then
Can I explain what the book is?
it is like.
Okay. Yeah, that's a hard one. Okay, let me explain what the book is, okay?
So you are trying to look for like a butterfly in it.
Yeah, you look for mistakes. Okay, so basically, the guy, it's like written in cartoon form at the start, and the guy's going to do an art auction, and he gets a call that there have been fakes put into the art auction. So these are the people that made the fakes, and depending on how good they are, depends on how many mistakes you have to look for in the pictures. So it shows,
And it
One of
also
the
has
pictures-
you make a shark.
right, you make a chart to fill it out. So in this picture, there's a little hidden fish. So you go back and figure out which character that is that made this picture. It tells you how many mistakes you're looking for. And you're looking for mistakes based on the other picture, which is the real one, and it tells you about that piece of art. So here's the real one, here's the one, and they have to check them for mistakes. It just makes them look at art in a different way. I don't know if they actually finished. They were making their chart and everything. But like there's a person missing in this. There's an extra person in this picture than in this one. And so you can look through and see the mistakes. Just makes them look at art in a different way.
My next one is the USA book.
The U.S. Coast Guard.
So it talks about their boats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it talks about how it works.
Yeah. You like Coast Guard, huh?
Yeah.
Because they help people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's your next one?
So now it's about tars. And it has all kinds of tars. It has the like fake tars and stuff. And I know a funny
Are
one.
you saying a guitar car is that a car?
They have fake cars.
Yeah.
And then, hold on, they have real cars. So this scene, so they have scenes where it's just the cars, but then in a scene where there's actually background to it, it's actual like construction site, and it tells you the names of them.
And that are fake.
You think the elephant ambulance and the giraffe ambulance are fake?
Yeah.
Yeah. But some of them are real, right?
This isn't.
That's a real ambulance.
Yeah, I
Just a
said
different
it
color.
isn't.
Right? So some of them are real, some of them are fake. But you like that book, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
Now next one, I got it, and it talks about a dog. Yeah.
Different stories. What's your favorite story about the dogs?
Which one?
I don't know. Did you like the dogs that were rescuing people?
Which one? You like that one?
I don't know.
Oh, this one.
You like that one?
And the cat.
And the cat. So this dog was a bloodhound, and he finds
Oh,
missing
that's
animals.
still a... Oh, no.
The dog finds missing animals?
The hippo one.
Oh, the hippo one?
And
They didn't find a
this
missing
one
hippo.
is about a truck. And it is like short pages.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is about a man that caught a fish
And what did the fish do?
I don't. Oh.
Remember, he caught the
Yeah.
fish and he let go of the fish.
Yeah.
And then when he got in trouble,
Yeah.
what did the fish do?
It jumped into the water.
Yeah, it jumped in front of him, right, to show him where to
Yeah.
go. So the
Yeah.
fish helped him out. It's a pretend story, but it's a neat story.
Yeah. And then he tried pulling it, but he yelled at it at first.
Yeah, he was mad at the fish, wasn't he?
Yeah. And then he kept it in there. Then he saw the lighthouse, and then he was going. And he found a ship, and one of his oars broke.
Yeah, he lost an oar, the storm came, and then the fishy
Yeah.
helped him find his way to the
And then
shore.
he got there.
Yay!
Oh, what was that page?
I don't know, you've got one more book to talk about though.
And then this is Island Boy.
I read that the other day.
And it has like a boy that helps to do everything. And he finds the board. And he steals the ship and everything.
It's a good book. Okay,
Yeah.
Abigail's going to talk about that one too. Go ahead, talk about your other books first. Oh, Malachi has another book.
This.
What's that book about?
That. And big.
That's about Temple Grandin, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Temple.
We'll talk more about that one in a minute. Did you like that book about the cows? Okay, good job.
I have Across Pudding Stone Dam. It is by Melissa
Wiley.
Wiley. And it's about them building this dam and stuff.
Cool.
It's part of the Little House series. Not the regular Little House, but other years of Little House.
I also have All of the Kind Family. It's in a series. So we got the first one, and this is the second one.
What was your favorite thing that happened in this one?
Mm,
And this is actually the third one.
oh, the third one? Okay.
So what was your favorite thing that happened? You don't remember?
That
No,
memorable.
I
Huh?
just like.
She liked it. Okay, go ahead, more.
I also was gonna do Island Boy. It's about this family that moved into an island called Matinicus Island, and then he grew up.
It was Tibbetts Island.
Tibbetts Island. He grew up. He went on a ship. Then he married this school teacher. Then they had kids, and then it goes through his whole life.
I don't know if you heard that from the
What'd you
side.
say?
What'd you say? Okay, he said married a school teacher named Hannah, and he said that was Hannah. If you're listening, Tyler. Our friend Tyler just got married to Hannah.
And he's a school teacher.
He's a school teacher, not her. Okay, go ahead.
Talent. I have no idea what he just said. This is another book, Hero Dogs by Mary
Waddlebomb.
Waddlebum.
Waddlebomb.
And it's about different animals, like search and rescue animals, a Dalmatian, and it's about lots of animals and stuff. Then I got another, Grandma's Attic. It's in a series, and it's about this little girl who's at her grandma's house, and she finds different stuff in her grandma's attic, and then there are stories about the different things.
They're short little moral stories of
Yeah.
a time gone by, right? Okay, Malachi has
Like
another
some
thing.
of them are quilt pieces. This is
Okay. Okay, did you have any you want to talk about? If you don't, that's okay. Okay, go ahead. Tell Daddy. All kinds of cars.
All kind of car, and I just like it because it's showing There's a jungle car.
Yeah.
A dinosaur car.
Yeah.
You guys just like the
Blue
pictures.
car. Oh, a slide car.
Skate car.
Yeah, that was funny, wasn't it?
3D car.
Prison car. Okay, but then what was your book you liked about real things?
I just like it. It's a U.S. card. And like what? A really big boat. And you can see what they're doing.
Tells a little bit about the stuff they do, huh? Samuel, can you come down and tell us about your books? And then I got a stack.
So, my first book is Survival. This is about different skills that you need to know to survive, like how to pitch a tent, how to tie good knots, how to pitch other kinds of tents. We have some videos about this book, and it is Super Soldier Safety Survival Skills.
Something like that.
Samuel. And it is really good, and
You really like
it's
outdoor
a good
stuff
read.
right now, right?
The next book is Across 5 Aprils. Across 5 Aprils is it's a story of the Civil War, and there's this boy who, well, 3 of his brothers, 2, 3, some of his brothers go to the Union side, but then one of his brothers goes to the Confederate side and like worrying about are they okay and getting letters from them and stuff. It is by G. Oh, whoops. I read another book by G.A. Henty about the Civil War.
Yeah.
This is by Irene Hunt.
That book?
And
Yeah, that book's by Irene Hunt. It's just talks from a family perspective of what it was like to have children in the war. This is a brother who's worried about his siblings, and then hearing news stories of things that are happening to, like, in the war, right?
one
Like,
of his brothers dies and stuff
yeah,
in the war.
but you enjoyed that book?
And you're also scared if you accidentally shot your brother.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Some brothers were fighting against brother, right? And they didn't necessarily know that their brother was in the group that they were firing at. So it was definitely a war against brother to brother. Yeah, that book. Okay, can you sit next to me? Because I've got a whole list of books to do. Okay, here's Sarah's suggestions. What should I call it? Sarah's smashing suggestions.
Sarah's silly suggestions.
Sarah's silly suggestions. Okay, so this book is Little Worlds by Geraldine Collett. It just talks about the imagination of children and kids finding their own space to imagine in and different ways that kids think about the world. It's just neat. I definitely think that imagination is something that is lacking in our culture because there's too many screens, too much forced play in, like, we're going to do sports, you're going to learn ballet, you're going to learn this instrument, which none of those things are bad, but kids need time to discover the world around them by themselves. Oh, I'm going to take that. That was falling off when we got it. The book jackets, sometimes they're old. This book is very old too. So let's see, when is the date of this? 64. So, been in the library for a while. Okay, we're gonna put that up there. Okay, next book. How Sweet the Sound, the story of Amazing Grace.
Samuel, can you help us?
I don't know if you've heard the story of Amazing Grace, but the guy who wrote Amazing Grace, John Newton, used to be work on a slave ship. And then he was one of the biggest proponents of abolition of slavery. And so it's just, hold on, can I see it for a second? It's just a picture book with really neat pictures, but very little words. It's just a neat book. So it's How Sweet the Sound by Carol Boston Weatherford. I don't know why I have that one. Island Boy is probably one of my favorite books. I remember it from when I was a child. Barbara Cooney is a local writer and illustrator from Maine. I don't know if she's still alive, but she died 20 years ago. But
She's from Minnesota.
she wrote and illustrated a lot of books. If you've read the book Cartman, she illustrated that book. That's a very popular book by a lot of people. This is about island life here in Maine. It's very true to what island life looked like. This is, someone has asked me before, talking about multi-generational books. This book, the guy lives on the island as a boy. He brings back his wife to live there, and then it ends up that after his wife dies, his daughters move to get married. One daughter moves back to the island with her son, and he, as a grandfather, teaches his child all the things he's supposed to do. Hold on, baby. He's sitting on a book. Okay. Olive Kind Family, we've talked about it before. This was the third of the series. It's a family in New York City during the First World War, Jewish family, and they are living their Jewish traditions of having their Passover, and they make a tent, house in their backyard for the Feast of Booths and all of that. In this book, there is a little love story in the book, so if you're against that, it doesn't get very deep, but one of the daughters is writing to a soldier, so her friend starts writing to the soldier, and then the one soldier goes missing, and it's very true to what was happening in that time with things that were going on. But there is a little love story, so if you're against that, but we don't do a lot of romantic stories, and this one wasn't too deep, so there was no like kissing and stuff involved in it. Yes. Oh, this one's Barbara Cooney. This was illustrated by Barbara Cooney. This book, the American Speller, is based off Noah Webster's Blueback Speller, which a lot of schools used back, way back. And so it goes through the letters of the alphabet and teaches phonics in a fun, old-fashioned way. So she illustrated that. Hold on. He's showing you another. This book, Farm, by Elisha Cooper. It just goes through a family who lives on a modern day farm and tractors. Okay, hold on. And what happens in the different seasons. So in April, they're planting, the chicks are having babies, they're watching the fields grow. It's a longer book, like I'm showing you multiple, like just a few pages, but it talks about the storms that come in and how they rely on the rain. And it's just a very neat book about farm life. Nothing Stopped Sophie. Depending what you think about women's roles and all of that stuff, this lady lived in the late 1800s, I think, maybe early 1900s. She was very into math, and everyone was telling her that she shouldn't do anything with math, because that was a boy thing. But she actually discovered some formula of when you hear different hertz of sound, is that what it is? And you have sand like on a plate on top of a speaker that's making that sound, and it vibrates into different patterns. And if you actually look it up online, it's really interesting to see the different patterns. I'm not even sure why I'm holding this book up. Someone handed it to me. But that we like to read picture books talking about famous people, like little biographies, so that the kids can learn about people around them. So we found this to be an interesting book. Of course, it's a women can be whatever they want to be. If you've seen our videos about stay-at-home moms and stuff, we feel that girls are very smart and do have things to contribute to society. Just how some of the words were worded was, you know, a woman can go off and be whatever she wants to be, which we believe that she's very smart and has a lot to contribute to society. Maybe not as a full-time worker in that. Okay, and then The Girl Who Thought in Pictures was mentioned before. This is Temple Grandin. Temple Grandin has autism. There's actually a movie about her that Claire Danes, I think it was Claire Danes, we watched it years ago. But Temple Grandin was a, sorry, you have a baby fussing, the oven's open. The person watching him had to check the pie. Temple Grandin was, she really liked animals. She really related to animals. And so she couldn't relate to people, and it talks about in her younger years how the world didn't make sense to her. But when she was 18, she went and lived on her aunt's farm, ranch, and she understood more of how she thought by watching the cows, because she understood, she just understood them more because they were living by the things out in nature and the world around them, as opposed to people and the communication of like reading faces and stuff that she didn't understand. She's very famous for making a cow squisher. Is that what they call it? I don't know. Cow hugger? I don't know. So she made this box for herself in her house that she would get in, and she could pull a lever and it would squeeze her. Because although she didn't understand human interaction, she still wanted that feeling of being hugged. So she made this machine that gave her hugs. And she ended up making machines for cows that would hold them in a certain way that a cow felt more secure even when they needed to have procedures done or they were being led to slaughter and those types of things. So it's a very interesting book. And she ended up going on to be a world-renowned speaker even though she has autism. So that's just kind of interesting that you can overcome those things.
She didn't talk till she was like 5 or something, and now she speaks all over the world.
Yes. So it's just neat. God has made it so that different people think of the world in different ways. We see that within our family in a lot of different people because of things, different disabilities we have and everything. And it's, if you try to see the world through somebody else's eyes, the way that they experience it, you'll realize that there's a lot more to the world than your own little brain can comprehend. And I think we need everybody, and we need to appreciate everybody's unique abilities that God has given them. So that's some of the books we got this week. Those are some of the books we enjoyed. We want to do a book review, so next time I go in town, the kids can go back to the library and pick out more books. But thank you for joining us on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. Bye.